Hey, this is Heather, and today I'm going to give you a little tutorial on how to change your FuzziBunz mediums and larges and turn them into one-size diapers. I'd had these prints here that were a little bit older. They're a couple years old, and they'd had some really stretched out elastic. They were just totally stretched. I mean, I took it out already, but you can see like it was just totally stretched out. First, I removed the elastic from the diaper by very carefully seam ripping the stitching out in these areas where the elastic was sewn in. And I only needed to take out about 1 inch worth of stitches on each section. Here it's just right. There was a vertical stitch off the waistband that just needed to come out on each side of that. And about 1 inch for each side of the legs. I got to leave all this stitching in, so it wasn't as big a job. One of the Bum Genius I'd taken apart, the elastic was actually sewn in, so I had to take all of that out. So it was fairly easy to take the elastic out. Once I had the plain diaper with no elastic in, then I took my sewing machine and I reinforced the sides around each of the places where my elastic is going to have to come through in order to be adjustable elastic. So I reinforced it on this side of the casing and on this side of the casing at each section. You can kind of still see where the old stitching used to be, and I've reinforced it on either side, leaving a big enough opening in the casing for my elastic to come through. I did that also at the waistband. I am finding that the waistband casing is a little bit tight for the FuzziBunz adjustable elastic, but I think it'll work just fine. So this is the diaper that is prepared to put the elastics in, and I have enough adjustable elastic left from the one-size diapers that I've purchased. That's the correct, this is the waistband piece right here, and these are the 2 leg pieces. I found about 4 packs that I hadn't used yet for my one-size diapers. So then I would just take a safety pin and put it right in here, and this diaper is ready to have its leg pieces put in. And first I put the elastic through the casing kind of like this. One thing I have found, if you sort of tape your safety pin together first before you do it, it works a little bit better, because if your safety pin were to come undone inside of the casing, it can put a hole in the waterproof material. So you don't really want to let that happen. So I put a little piece of Scotch tape around my safety pins first. And here is my final product. So after I got the adjustable elastic through the casing, I then proceeded to cut a small hole right where it came out of the on either side of the stitch, right in between the stitching. I cut a small hole there, and I cut a small hole above, and I sewed the button in between. And if you look at one of your FuzziBunz one-size diapers, this is very similar to how they have it done. You don't need to put any stitching on the sides of the hole, because the nature of this material, it shouldn't fray at all. It should stay pretty good. So you don't need to reinforce the holes, they'll stay fine. And I just pulled the elastic right through, put it on whatever setting I wanted it on. I just stuck it on a 3 just to kind of give you an idea, and tucked it in the hole. Now you won't have the nice little pocket for the elastic to go in like they have on the FuzziBunz, but I think it's pretty well hidden inside of there that it's not really going to be much of a problem. And I also, if you notice here, I added some snaps, and unfortunately my snaps are a little brighter white than the original FuzziBunz snaps. But one of my biggest pet peeves with the FuzziBunz these days is that if you put it on the smallest hip setting, here, I'll do it again. You put it on the smallest hip setting, with the buttons, with the snaps that they leave you, you kind of have this funky front right here. And this diaper's not showing it quite as much It's looking pretty good. But it works so much better if you're able to cross the snaps over when you have it on the smallest hip setting. And I'm still just not quite sure why FuzziBunz decided to do away with their crossover snap, but I just added those in just for convenience. Now the one thing is the tag still says medium on it. I didn't want to change that because I wanted people to know it was a genuine FuzziBunz diaper that's just been converted. And this should work on the medium sized diapers and the larges. A FuzziBunz medium diaper, if you look at it next to a one size diaper, it's actually slightly larger and it's wider. So this diaper should fit pretty similar to a one size. I like it a little better because it's wider and it's easier to stuff, so that's kind of nice. And I also was talking about how the elastic, the casing, was a little small at the back. It also is a little funky where the tag is sewn in right there, but it works. And I also sewed the buttons in on there, so that's a fully adjustable waist. And that is how I turned my stretched out elastic medium FuzziBunz into one size diapers. I hope you guys find this helpful. I sure did. And make sure that you don't just toss out those diapers with the stretched out elastic. They're still good. They still have a lot of life left in them. Thanks for watching.